Hey everybody, Chris here. So where is Dogecoin going to be a year from now? We're going to explore that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when new videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And I'm live pretty much every day of the week except Saturday. Saturday is family day, so not doing live streams today. However, Sunday will be my next live, so make sure that you're subscribed and you've got your notifications on. We know it's been a disappointing 2025 so far for Dogecoin after a big rise that we had November into December of 2024. But where are we going to be a year from now? So we're going to take a look at that, show you the news in the charts. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart. We're just under 17 cents, about 16.78. Yesterday on live stream, we were looking at a potential move up over 17 cents, got up to about 16.97 before being rejected. Overnight, made another run, again up to 16.97 before getting rejected. We were looking at a larger sort of head and shoulders pattern during the live stream on Friday, and that didn't completely play out yet. We weren't able to get up to that right shoulder. So again, we're in a kangaroo market, as I've been saying right now. This is short term though. We'll see the bigger picture, but here's the big question. It's like, where will Dogecoin be a year from now? A lot of you are looking for price predictions. Well, as cryptocurrency has emerged, we have noticed Bitcoin and Ethereum going kind of in different directions. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. ETH has been struggling. I think a lot of that is because ETH is no longer proof of work, now proof of stake. And as we see the Bitcoin ETH, the ETH Bitcoin price just diving, like ETH is just not where you want to be yet. And Dogecoin, however, we saw in November went on a big run, like outperforms Bitcoin in a short period, 200% to 100% gain. But the sell-off, yes, that has been, no one was really predicting that much of a sell-off of Dogecoin. So Dogecoin has demonstrated extreme volatility, right? And that we know that. But over the last year, the price rose 18.5 over the past 1 year now, because we did see back in March of 2024, Dogecoin went on a little run and then sold off in April, and then through the summer we had the big dip. But where are we going to be a year from now in 2026? So prices have been cooling. Could now be a good time to take advantage of its depressed price action. So let's explore what drove the rise to begin with and assess where crypto could be headed over the next year. As the graph below indicates, Dogecoin's price didn't inspire much confidence for most of 2024. Again, we had the big run up to 22 cents and then the sell-off, and then we had the gift, right? Down at 9.2 cents there in August. So up until October, Doge hovered mostly around this 10-cent range, but throughout November and December, the price went parabolic. My suspicion is that crypto experienced outsized attention during this period as it overlapped with the presidential election. More specifically, we had Elon Musk tapped by the Trump administration to lead a new effort called the Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge. As part of his responsibilities, he's been put in charge of identifying areas of potentially wasteful spending within the federal budget. But so what, right? What does this have to do with Dogecoin? My thinking is that some investors brought into a narrative that Doge and Dogecoin might be related somehow. The crypto's ticker symbol is Doge. Musk himself playfully expressed an affinity for Dogecoin in the past. After a short-lived euphoria following Election Day, I think investors began to wake up and realize that Musk's government duties are exclusive of Dogecoin, and the selling began. But again, this is what we saw. Look at this chart. This is comparing Dogecoin to Bitcoin to the S&P 500 to the NASDAQ. So starting back almost a year ago, what we have is Dogecoin goes on a big run up to 22 cents, falls back, again, has little spikes. Actually, this is going back a couple years. This is going back to 2022. Sorry. We see Dogecoin go on a run near the end of 2022. That's based on Elon Musk buying Twitter, and then falling back. And then we have, again, the run in March of 2024, the fallback over the summer, and then the big run of Doge. So this is Dogecoin being more volatile than Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes on a big run. So Dogecoin was up 200%. Bitcoin was up 100%. But when we have Bitcoin falling off from a high of 109 down to its current like 84,000 mark, big sell-off in Bitcoin, some think, but of course Dogecoin drops harder. Still outperforming, though, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, slow and steady, right? That's how those perform. But Dogecoin still outperforming them, but Bitcoin holding up better in the downfall. So that's basically how that works. So fluctuations seen in Bitcoin appear to be far less pronounced than those in Dogecoin. Big reason for this is that unlike Dogecoin, Bitcoin has garnered increasing support from institutional investors, Wall Street analysts, even federal agency, and Bitcoin having these exchange-traded funds may have led to Bitcoin not being as volatile anymore. So for Dogecoin, again, this is this guy writing for the Motley Fool. To me, the reason Dogecoin has not seen the same support compared to other cryptos is because it doesn't have much utility in the real world. Bitcoin, far from a mainstream form of payment, but there has been a notable rise in its popularity across businesses and smart money investors. By contrast, Dogecoin's price action tends to follow hype narratives that connect dots that ultimately aren't really there. In other words, an investment in it is akin to meme-style opportunity. For this reason, it's almost impossible to identify a definitive concrete catalyst that could drive a rebound in its price. Over the next year, I wouldn't be surprised to see that price witness both upward and downward swings, right? Even Motley Fool saying, yeah, we could still see an upward and downward swing, but ultimately, I think it will continue to fall as more investors catch on that its value in the crypto realm pales in comparison to more mainstream opportunities. So that's the Motley Fool's outlook, is there will be upswings and then downswings with no real catalyst. Dogecoin liquidation slows down. Right now, what's happening is the worst over for Doge. Again, we've been looking at these heat maps, and the heat maps still big on Bitcoin, big on ETH, but Dogecoin's just not as much going on because people aren't really doing a lot of trading at the moment in terms of leverage longs or shorts on Dogecoin. All of the attention is really on Bitcoin and ETH. Meanwhile, Dogecoin price eyes a rebound. Is there a rally ahead? Well, again, Ali shows on the TD sequential indicator, after this pullback, we are looking at a buy signal on Dogecoin. And of course, I like to look at Ali's charts whenever there's something on Doge, particularly. Buy signal, we'll take that. And whale activity is surging amid Dogecoin's price drop. And we've been following that along with the number of new wallets being created for Dogecoin. So that wallet activity is up. And then we're now having this slight turnaround right here with active Doge addresses per day at its highest since mid-November. So we did have that spike in November, of course, because, Dogecoin's price was mooning. We're starting to see that turnaround now. Is this the beginning of a new rally this spring? Potential timelines for Dogecoin to price to reach 30 cents, 45 cents, and 60 cents. There are a lot of indicators here. We get the falling wedge, breakout of a falling wedge. You'd see a beginning of a price increase, possibly a pullback, and then a following increase. And of course, what could spur that, we'll talk about in just a minute. But once we get above 18 cents, we could confirm a bullish trend, driving Doge price toward higher levels. So Are the technical indicators there for this bullish potential? Again, looking at the MACD, looking at the money flow, all of those things are currently looking at Doge being at its lowest point right now. We look at the stochastic RSI as well and others pointing to a rebound. And of course, Ali has got the big chart, which I said, it's just going to bleed out sideways most likely, but he still thinks it's going to bounce and come up to $2. Again, I don't give a lot of credence to that as far as Ali goes. But what is the big catalyst, though? Again, Motley Fool says, no utility right now, right? Bitcoin has all this institutional investment behind it and the ETFs. Well, Dogecoin has ETFs that it has applied for. Probably won't come until the fall. But we have the House of Doge. And the House of Doge is a big deal, I think. House of Doge working with the Dogecoin Foundation, unveiling their strategy for global adoption of Dogecoin. That's right. It's global adoption of Dogecoin. More recently, if you follow me on X, I am at ChrisPax, keeping up to date on things going on. Elon in the White House. And here's a photo of his big, massive computer monitor, which is really cool. Dogecoin superheroes. Dogecoin going to save us? What is this going to be? We'll be watching for that. But it's really the House of Doge again. And on Friday, they said, Happy Friday, Doge Nation. More news coming on Monday. So we're going to see, what is this going to be about? What's the next news? Again, are we going to see sort of these partnerships? We know the Toronto Blue Jays might be coming as accepting Dogecoin as payment. What is the Dogecoin reserve? They're going to be, building up their mining facility for creating Dogecoin and a reserve of Doge to serve as liquidity in order to increase sort of that Doge liquidity in order to streamline payments using Dogecoin. I mean, that is going to be big. And is the House of Doge going to continue with these big partnerships? This is outside of Elon, though. I mean, Elon could always still do something with X payments and X money. We think is going to launch in the fall, as well as maybe Tesla. We look at the 4-year cycles overall, though. And even back in November. So in November, Dogecoin was indeed going on a big run. Here it was at 42 cents. This is where I took my first little slice of profit. Remember I said 42 cents. It was initially going to be the 35-cent line, right? That was that second run there that Dogecoin had in November of 2021, and I set it at 35, but it was going so fast and went up 40. I then did a limit order at 42.069, and it hit, took a little slice, that was right there. Kev Capital at that time, again, this is the slice of what we were looking at back in November, says Doge is nowhere near the top. He's using the Pi cycle indicator, and which he says is accurately called every Doge cycle top and bottom over each of its cycles. So, according to the indicator, Dogecoin still has a lot higher chance of going first before any profit-taking signal begins flashing. I took a profit then because, again, that was my philosophy and what I was looking at. Some of you guys mocked me then. What are you taking a profit for now, Chris? In hindsight, though, that was pretty good. And then I took a bigger profit again in late January, early February. But again, that was what I was doing because of what my goals were. But I still have a lot still invested in Doge. But we didn't get up to $2 before that pause. So now we're looking at a different scenario for 2025 into 2026 of what is this cycle? What is this bull cycle? Again, we look back to 2021. There was a pause between the first run and the second run. We had the second pump up to the 2021 top. I'm now thinking more that run we had in May of 2021 up to 73 cents is now more akin to this run that we had in November of 2024 up to 48 cents. And the pause we have now is the big pause. And it's the big pause between the 2021 top and then the second run up to 35 cents. Because that was over exaggerated, I think. And maybe this run we had to 48 cents was a bit over exaggerated as well. Again, as Motley Fool pointed out, that was all based on Trump and Elon and Doge and all of that, which turns out not to be so true. So even back in 2017, we had two pumps and we had a big pause there. And that big pause in 2017 had Doge going from 0.003, dropping all the way down to 0.0012 and even below a penny. This is more similar to what we've now experienced with Doge dropping from 48 cents all the way down into the 14s. Very similar to this. The second run in 2017, late 2017 to the beginning of January 2018, was a big euphoric run in crypto. We think Bitcoin is probably going to go on another run up over 100K, many predicting 150. Bitcoin will be higher than it was at 109, which is its current all-time high. If Dogecoin follows that same pattern into 2026, right, like Dogecoin did into 2018 back in 2 cycles ago, we could see possibly that run to $2. Again, my price prediction was still $1.80. I am sticking with that still for the second pump. Will that happen within 2025 or possibly into 2026? We'll see. It's a different timeline now. And is this House of Doge thing going to be much bigger than we think? That remains to be seen. For now, we're looking at still this short-term kind of tough kangaroo market that we're in, waiting for those catalysts. And is the House of Doge going to be the thing that's going to turn the Motley Fool into no longer saying there's no utility, or are they still going to mock this whole thing? We shall see. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this 1-year outlook that I am now looking at? Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.